everybody. Today we interview Nizam Omar. He is the franchise executive of Motus Nissan. Nizam has an inspiring and warm personality and possesses great potential for success, coming from humble beginnings and even sometimes working 2 jobs. His dedication is conditioned by a strong commitment to his ideals and vision, which is often used to inspire and uplift others. He has learned to effectively bring together the necessary elements, people, ideas, and resources to achieve his goals. He has also developed the talent to deal effectively with a great variety of people, to understand and consequently to unite many different or differing people towards a single goal, which is prevalent in his current position, as well as his partnership with our women empowerment non-profit initiatives. So without further delay, let's welcome Nizam Omar, and as usual, this is proudly brought to you by Sariti Solutions.
Thank you, Desh. What a welcome, really inspiring.
Everything I said was true.
Everything you said, I hope is true. But yeah, we always do our best.
Nizam, thank you again for joining us, and thank you viewers so much for joining us for yet another episode of Talk the Talk with me, Desh. I think, Nizam, where we'd like to start, and when I met you in your office, which was just recently, apparently we met a couple years ago.
Correct.
But we literally just met and got to know each other just recently in your office here in Nissan East Rand. But I'd like to establish and share with our viewers where you started in the motoring industry.
So Desh, just to refresh in your memory, we met at Audi 4 Ways 5 years ago when I moved up to Gauteng. From KZN. I've been employed at Imperial, now Motors, basically for the past 17 years.
Okay.
My current portfolio is pretty much a franchise exec overseeing Motus Nissan. That comprises of 8 dealerships across the country between Durban, Joburg and Cape Town.
Okay.
And linked to those brands are pretty much Nissan, Datsun, Renault. And I also have a Kia and a Hyundai franchise in mainland.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. From a staff point of view, we currently have over 356 staff. And as you requested, my focus and drive is on strategy to drive business,
Right.
whilst attracting talent and continuously building a dynamic team that assists me in delivering a return on investments to our shareholders and adding value to all our staff.
Okay. So you say that your job allows you to engage with different customers and staff and manufacturers and suppliers. Tell us more about that.
So basically, on a day-to-day basis, we obviously drive the business.
Yes.
In terms of engaging with all the DPC, what's happening every day. In today's times, you basically got to drive business on a daily business.
Right.
Aside from that, we structure deals, a lot of suppliers in terms of doing good deals. So we kind of use them across the businesses. It also entails a lot of dealings and engagements with the respective manufacturers to build relationships
Right. Yeah.
with them to try and get stock and network basically and provide feedback to the dealer network. I mean, it's all about relationships in today's times.
Yes. And so tell us more about your life journey and what led to your current position in your career.
Okay, that's a strange question, but let me start at the beginning, hopefully.
Yes.
So I started in the car rental industry, and I started with Woodford just after I got married 27 years ago. We started with 2 cars in the business.
Okay.
So humble beginnings, drove around the Durban beachfront, pretty much marketing the business, got into government departments, etc. And after a period of about 3 years, I moved over to the Key Motor Group,
Okay.
which was also on the truck rental side. Did pretty well from an operations point of view to repping, and then I became a branch manager. And I was headhunted to come to Nissan in Durban as a parts manager, which I really knew not much about.
Okay.
So I joined the parts business at Imperial at that time in 2003. I've been there since then, where I spent 12 and a half years in the business. And in that time, I basically in the first year did well in parts.
Okay.
That I was given the opportunity in year 2 to look after service.
Okay.
So I learned the business hands-on basically on parts and service, which we call after sales in today's times. And 3 years down the line, I became a DP.
Okay.
So I sat as a DP basically till 2015 in that business. But in that time, I was also given commercial experience on the trucking side of Taku Trucks, which used to be part of the Motors Group.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, pretty much 12 and a half years there. Later in 2015, I was headhunted, given an opportunity to work overseas for the executive brand of Nissan, which is Infinity. Was very nervous, but took the risk. And if I never did it, I would have kicked myself. So basically, I took the risk. I spent 12 months on a contract overseas, and that opened the door for me to come back into motors in 2017,
Yes.
late 2016, basically, and I moved up to Gauteng
Okay.
and landed myself as a franchise director at Nissan. But prior to this, I spent 2 years at multi-franchise, and in that position, they call it a regional director.
Yes.
Pretty much the same thing what I'm doing now, what I did at multi-franchise.
Right, right.
So that's my background, basically.
Okay. So, Nizam, you will be partnering with us. And actually, you've partnered with us already on 2 different projects this year. The motoring workshops, where we educate young schoolgirls on joining the motoring industry. And also, you will be financing the MyPad project, which is what what I want to ask you first is, what motivated you to do this with us?
So, Desh, I feel it's our responsibility to give back to the community, and I think this is the right projects to join in the motor industry, as it, having women and building women in the motor industry brings a different flair to the business. Generally, it's been more a male-dominated industry, and the change in this flair brings a different flair to the business as such.
Yes.
Currently, in my team, if you look at it, I have 2 women DPs in leadership roles,
Yes.
which one being Debbie is your guest.
My go-to girl.
Go-to girl. And I have a lady in Cape Town, Virosh. She's also been with the group for 7 years in a leadership
Which
role.
I'm going to meet next month. For the
Correct.
next,
So
yes.
yes, you're doing the roadshow up in Cape Town. So the reality, I think it's our corporate social responsibility.
Yes.
And I think this is a good format and platform to start with. Hence the reason we've partnered with you. And looking at the way you've done the Women Talk magazine at this moment in time, all the respective dealers getting on the network, and having your lady or my lady Debbie partnering with you in this, I have to support the cause.
Aw, I thank you so much for that, Nizam. It really,
pleasure.
really means a lot to us, because this is the type of support we require from, not just from Women Talk, which is the only female-owned advertising portal in South Africa, but my heart and my soul and my vision for empowerment lies with the non-profit organizations, which is the show, and which is the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards platform. So we really appreciate that type of support, which we need. So Nizam, you have sometimes worked 2 jobs, and this is something that really stood out for me in our conversation, so you've worked very hard to make a success of your career. What drives you and motivates you daily to do this?
So
You have
I
kids,
think-
right?
Yeah, I have 2
Okay.
kids. Well, they're not kids, they're adults. I have my eldest son is 26 years of age, he's married,
Okay.
and I'm a granddad.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Okay.
So I have a grandson who's a year, just turning a year now in April.
Okay.
And my second son is 21. The eldest one works for Motus in the aftermarket parts. He did a graduate program for 2 years.
Okay.
And the second one is on the Imperial Logistics side. He's done an IT degree, so he's serving his graduate program for 2 years as well on that side of
Wow.
it.
Okay.
So yeah, I think you got to be passionate what you do. You got to
Yes.
enjoy what you do.
Yes.
And you got to have the right attitude. I think is most important. Being a leader, being a decision maker, and seeing that smile and appreciation from staff of their gratitude in assisting them whatever possible is motivation itself.
Yes.
And I think that gives me comfort.
Yes.
And no matter what a challenging day you have, I come back the next day positive, motivated,
Right.
because you never know what to expect.
But hey, looking at your son's face, or your grandson, and is he in Johannesburg?
They're in Johannesburg and they live with me. Yes.
They love it. I mean, isn't that just motivation in itself, right?
Definitely. It just gives you the calming effect when you get home after a hard day's
Yes.
work, and the joy and the playfulness with him says a lot.
Aw. And that actually speaks volumes about you and your character and why you've partnered with us in terms of supporting this initiative, because you're a family man. You're a family man, and a lot of heart and soul lies in that. So what advice would you like to give young girls that dream and plan on entering the motoring field? You've got 2 sons, right? So
But I think the fact I'm partnering with women says a lot, as you've indicated. So I think,
Yes.
be it male or female, you've got to follow your dreams and and you've got to pursue it. I'm a living example that although I've been a male, not a female as we're talking, you're always going to have challenges on a daily basis, but never let anyone tell you what you're worth or what you're good at. You pursue those dreams and you drive at it. I mean, if I'm an example, I had to go a lot of training in development to get to where I am. I never knew everything from day one. Motus has been good to put me on relative development programs, etc. I look at things differently in today's times. So I think you know yourself at best, and you got to pursue your dreams and your goals and do what you have to. You're going to have those down days and those down moments, and I think the quicker you snap out of it, the better. You know, you can't have it every day. And I keep on saying to people, you can only have one Monday in a week. You can't have 5.
Oh my goodness, today has been a real Monday. But also, as you said, you have your down moments. However, today is International Women's Day. And I must just bring this into the conversation. It's so apt and so fitting that Nizam is sitting with me in studio today, because he's one of the gentlemen that have supported me and supported my initiative, not just from this year, from last year actually, behind the scenes, behind Debbie, who has been supporting me, and most of our drives this year will be supported by Motus Nissan. So being International Women's Day, I'm so grateful. And I mean, this will be aired later in the month or next month, but I just want to bring it to your attention that today is actually International Women's Day. So Nizam, we literally have spoken a lot about women empowerment, and that's why I brought you in to studio. And this is long overdue. We had you were obviously in quarantine and all of that, playing it safe during this COVID time. So I really, again, I want to thank you. I know as a franchise or director, executive, that's what you are. I know you guys are busy. You've got 8 dealerships to take care of. So again, I want to say thank you for that. And I'd like to say as well, I've got the most incredible men and that's why we're doing this features, viewers, because as much as women support me in motoring South Africa, I have this bunch of incredible men that I'd like to highlight in terms of their career, and there are no platforms like this that does that in South Africa. Again, we're the first. So I'd like to thank you for that, and I'd like to give a shout out to Dole D from MFC, one of the founders of MFC, also to Jeff Osborne, who has joined us, and Van der Walt, the owner of We Buy Cars. These are the type of men, the caliber. Brad Kaftel, that was in here, the owner of Hatfield. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can't thank you enough, the gentlemen out there that have supported me and continue to support me to bring this to the motoring fraternity of South Africa. And I'd like to thank you again for this, and to add to this motoring men that have come forth and are setting an example to open the space for women. So I'd like you to maybe talk a bit about what is your opinion regarding women in the motoring fraternity.
So Desh, I think we need to get a bit more women into leadership roles over time, with a plan in place, obviously. And I think shows like this just highlights and gives it a bit more exposure. As I've mentioned, I got 2 female DPs that report into me, which is great. And over time, as we go and changes occur, I can assure you that we will give that major priority. I am also of the view that there has to be equality in positions and continuous drive, which will get us the balance right over time. So definitely happy to support the program, the project, and I think this is the right format to get that exposure.
Yes. Nizam, so tell me, who is it that you look up to, or you take guidance from, or who's your idol, maybe?
So, well, if I had to put it in simple terms, aside from God, it's my wife. I knew there was an answer to all of this. I think I sit and pray and I reflect 5 times a day, every day, and I think the man above has been a shining light. My wife of 27 years, who stood by me through good and bad times and has given me good advice. I mean, she's been a great inspiration and support through both good and challenging times, and I look onto her for advice from time to time. I mean, it's coming from a different perspective. So ultimately, 2 idols, the man above and the missus.
Oh, the missus, and that's what I like, because I mean, I wondered, you've got 2 sons, where's the connection for women empowerment? So it's the wife, and I knew that, because behind every successful man lies a very beautiful and even more successful woman.
She's going to be smiling once she listens to this.
So we talked a bit about why more women should be entering the fraternity. But could you maybe elaborate a bit more about women empowerment initiatives like these, specifically MWOT, which is the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, powered by MFC, a division of Nedbank, and then also the Talk the Talk show, powered by Sariti Solutions. I think it's the only two women empowerment initiatives in South Africa within the motoring space like this.
Yeah, Desh, as I said, it's a great initiative. There's great exposure out there. It also brings awareness to women to come forward and speak. And I think all these projects that you're doing, especially which we're partnering with in RADA, which is Rape and Drug Abuse Centers, in the PAD sponsor projects, etc., it makes women more confident to come forward and to talk. And I think the more confident that makes them, the more we mix engage with them, we can bring them into the industry. And the only way that we could do that is purely with forums like these. If I can just elaborate a little bit more, I was actually surprised when I saw an apprentice as a lady in one of our businesses. You normally don't find that. And I think that's also another avenue. It doesn't mean to say in a male-dominated industry, technicians are only male. There are females out there that are doing it. So definitely on the right direction, and I salute you. And I think we're happy to support all these initiatives.
Oh, thank you. Last year, the Motoring Woman of the Year was one of the winners was actually Deborah from Ford, and she's an engineer. She's an engineer at Ford Company, and I mean, these are the roles that we want to highlight: mechanics and women in service and parts. It's happening, it's there, and we just need to educate, and that's what we're doing. The workshop that you are sponsoring us at Cape Town, Durban, in Johannesburg, and those workshops are actually aimed to the kids at school level, matriculants that will be joining us, for us to open the opportunities and educate them about the available opportunities within the motoring industry. So yes, that's one of the highlights of these workshops. So once again, thank you. So how do you stay motivated and inspired?
I guess I wake up on the right side of the bed every day. That makes any sense.
Okay.
I truly love what I do, and I'm really passionate about it.
Yes,
and I think you got to motivate yourself more than anything else.
Yes.
And that's really what keeps me motivated every day.
Yes, no, true. So we talked about this as well, and this is the reason we brought you. Another reason. There's so many reasons we brought you here, Nizam. Okay, but this is another reason. Unfortunately, we have these men that are still stuck in the Stone Ages, okay, and it's the motoring field, okay, and we understand that the old school guys are still set in their old school ways in terms of allowing women to enter the space and giving us the keys to open this door, so we don't have to kick them down, okay. But men don't always support other women, and they become territorial. So what's your advice to change the mindset of these guys?
I think your show says a lot, okay. If you continue doing this, it creates that awareness, as I indicated, and more people will come forward. You might find people that never spoke or talked before come forward to talk, and there's opportunities that they'll want to feel more comfortable and confident to put their names in the hat, etc., for development. It has been a male-dominated industry, no doubt. I'm a male and I agree with you, but I can assure you it's changing. Not at the rapid pace that you want it to be, but there is change, and over time, these shows will make it happen even better.
Oh, thank you, because and I always say this, Marsha Mayaba, who is now the CEO of Barlow World, and I think I say this in every show, but she always says, Desh, we can't change the world, but we can change someone's world. Actually, Nita says that, a lady here at our studio, but she always says, let's just leave it better than we found it. Even a little bit of contribution from our side, so thank you. And yes, it's been 4 months. It's only been 4 months, 4 solid months of the show. We've interviewed about 100 people, I think, and so the more that we interview and the more people that we allow to or we welcome, not allow but welcome, to share the space, the more the word will spread that this is such an do you agree with me, this is such an exciting industry to be in?
No, definitely. I mean, the past 17 years I've seen a lot of changes, but every day has been enjoyable. You have your tough times and your good times, and if you weigh the scale, this is all I know, so I can't go nowhere else. I gotta make it work.
And once a year you can't leave. I'm a journalist, investigative journalist, and and I was a community journalist, had my own publications, and that was my heart, my soul was into community journalism, reporting rape and drug abuse, and I was, that's what I used to do. However, when I entered the motoring field in 2010, it's been 11 years now, I didn't leave, I'm still here. So yes, definitely. What are one of your most favorite quotes that I would say guided you through your years?
I think if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. It's so ironic as this is fulfillment and contentment for me. So yes, I'm really passionate and committed, and I think that's the simplest way to put it in terms of a quote.
Yes, absolutely. So, Nizam, hopefully very, very far along the line, when, I'm not even going to say when you cross over, but what would you like, what legacy would you like to leave behind for your kids, for the people that worked with you, and just Nizam Omar?
Yeah, I'd like people to remember me as down-to-earth individual, influential, yet a tough business leader. That kept business simple and ethical, and who always had employees and customers' best interests at heart.
Yes, yes.
Business is simple. We tend to complicate it at times, but it's all about having the right people in your business and driving and deliver them. Without them, you don't have a business.
Yes, absolutely. And having said that, is there anything that you would like to, like lessons that you might have learned along the way that might just help someone else watching you?
Yeah, I think stay positive, stay focused, and follow your goals and your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you, as I indicated before, that you can't do this and you can't do that. And I was related to one example when I was told that, and the next question I said is, show me what I need to do and help me. If you're not going to ask, you ain't going to get it.
Yes, yes,
That's
absolutely, absolutely. And who is Nizam at home? I mean, your hobbies, and what do you do, and what's left? What would you like to do?
So basically, in the last 5 years, not much, because I moved up to Gauteng.
Okay.
But in Durban, I had quite a balanced life, and I
Okay.
hope that I get that here in the next year or so.
There's no beach, but you know what?
I lived across the beach, so cycling is a hobby, which I
Okay.
really enjoyed, and I did
Alright.
a couple of races, etc. But I think after moving up to Joburg and the changes, and it took me a year to get my family up, so the transportation up and down
Yes.
every weekend, back and forth,
Yes.
put a bit of a toll. 4 years down the line, I got my family up here, so life's kind of giving us some sort of sanity, happiness and contentment. And I think in the next year, hopefully, I want to get back into cycling, etc., and do something for fun. That's really what it
And
is.
that's a sport that will keep you stimulated, keep
Correct.
you motivated, and keep you, So
Correct,
thank you
yeah.
so much, Nizam. I can't wait to see what lies ahead for you in your career. I wish everything of the best for you, and I hope that we will have a very long, fruitful relationship in terms of women empowerment in motoring South Africa.
Thank you very much, Desh. Thanks for having me, and yeah, I'm sure we will.
Okay, thank you
Cool.
so much,
Pleasure.
Nizam.
Thank you.
Viewers, thank you for watching, supporting, and following us once again. Also, please remember to follow us on our social media platforms, and don't forget, we have thousands of vehicles on sale to choose from countrywide on our vehicle listing page at www.womantalk.co.za. And remember, viewers, we only advertise for bank accredited dealerships. Ladies, life is too short to spend most of it being negative, and I think that's something that I was going to ask Nizam a bit earlier on about one of his pet peeves, and he did mention that negativity is something that he doesn't really take to, but enthusiasm is one of the most divine feelings we can experience. It is energy vibrating at the highest level, energy vibrating in tune with creation. When we are feeling enthusiasm, we are on the cruise ship of divinity. Enthusiasm is what lets you know that you are on the right track with your life. This divine feeling of excitement is your reward for heading towards your true soul's purpose. You will never feel enthusiasm when you are doing the wrong thing with the wrong people at the wrong time. Enthusiasm is directly linked to passion. You have to find your passion in order to feel enthusiastic, and Nizam is proof of this. Remember, ladies, enthusiasm can help you find the new doors, but it takes passion to open them. And once more, I'd like to remind our ladies that the question should never be who's going to let me, it should always be who's going to stop me.